This is Derrick Broze here at the Cleveland 2016 RNC convention, and I'm here with Rod, who was involved with the Anonymous Anarchist, as the news is calling it, FBI raid the other day. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Rod?
So the day before yesterday, we had been out in the square here on Alex Jones had been doing his thing, trying to start the riot, and it's interesting in that people were getting on each other, basically started a big pile. Various publications blamed public figures like Vermin Supreme and Rod Webber, the flower guy, basically because they saw these anti-figures that could be scapegoats, if you will. And then there just around the corner was another kind of spontaneous anarchist parade, or I wouldn't even call it that. It was a parade. There were anarchists there were anons there, various factions, and it was really just people trying to speak their mind out on the street. And allegedly, according to the police, at one of these functions, water bottles were thrown and feces. So for this offense, which I had no part in, and any of our group, to my knowledge, had no part in, I didn't see any of these things going on. I was awoken by banging on the house. I look up, and my buddy Dave, who'd been sleeping on the porch, is putting his hands up. He's in the window. I can see through the window. FBI guys are swarming around the place, and I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. I don't know what it is, but they're heavily armed, and there's a lot of them. It was FBI, Homeland Security, HSI, ICE agents, local police, and they were all swarming the house. And so I get out my trusty GoPro, I turned on my iPhone for the Bambuser Act, and I try to put on some clothes. But first thing, Jose had gone, around to the second door. They pull him out. The door is again closed. The cops push it open and say, "Drop your pants!" And I'm thinking, okay, I see what's going on here, but I see that you're police of some kind. I don't know what you're doing here, but if I'm going to go outside, I'd really like to wear my pants. I don't know what's in your pants, buddy. Put down the pants. So, I mean, and this is the level of absurd. So I put down the pants and asked to kick them over. I kicked them over. They searched them. Basically, they interrogated us for about 20 minutes to 45. I don't know. Time kind of stands still and becomes abstract, like an Escher painting at that point. And where this endless loop of, you threw the water bottles, you threw the feces, you threw the water bottles. No, none of these things happened. And by the way, warrantless entry. You had guns out. This was so after they were done with the initial thing. They and you can see on the video, on the GoPro video, that they come into the house. They didn't have a gun on me, but they pulled guns once they're in. They're poking around, and when they find Dan and Brittany asleep, wake them up with guns in their face. And holy crap, this is the America we live in, or is this some third world country where...
Just for a second.
Thank you.
This is just impossible that this is happening. It's an egregious show of force, an overuse of force, unconstitutional use of force, and basically what I said to them after, and actually Jose and both of, we were making sure to say to them, like, listen, you don't have permission to come in. We don't own the house, and even if we did own the house, wouldn't give you permission. No one could give you permission to come in. But I said, if you're just looking for water bottles, why did you bring 20 guys with machine guns? So yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was
Perfect point. So let's make that clear again for the audience. So they didn't show up with a warrant. They did a no-knock entry with guns drawn. Is that correct?
That is correct. They came with no warrant, no knock entry. They drew guns inside. They didn't particularly point it at my face, but you can see in the video they had guns out. Totally unconstitutional.
So one other question, unrelated, but more related to you specifically. You call yourself the flower guy. Tell us a
I
little.
don't call myself.
Well, some people
I'm Rod
do.
Webber.
Yeah, you're
a
Rod.
lot of people call me that. And that's,
Show us your flowers and show the audience why do you get that nickname, the flower guy?
Because I've been passing out flowers. I use them sometimes. I call them a flower for de-escalation or a flower for peace, and I brought them to all the main presidential candidates. Everyone's taken them many, many times except for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, which says a lot, since I always say it's a symbolic gesture of peace. If you become president, that there be peace over your term. So now Hillary and our good friend Donald, they don't want that. So what's that say?
All right. Where can people find out more about your work?
You can go to rodweber.com or youtube.com/rodweber. That's RODWEBBER. That's my thing on Twitter, Instagram, all those.
Awesome.